So I'm trying to stay in the house and get my peace. And my daughter come to visit, so we're sitting outside. And now National Guard is coming down here.
Are you guys here for a reason? Say hi?
You're not shooting people with paintball guns or anything, right?
No, that's...
got anything, man. Now we're just seeing if people have concerns, safety or health or different things.
We're concerned that not enough of you are standing up and fighting back with us. That's what we're concerned about, because something was wrong. What are y'all going to do about it, though? Like, are you going to really sit out?
Things are starting to calm down. You know, we really can't be out there when trying to say hi and out there when there's threat of person going on.
Are you guys the same guys that were out, like, at night as well? You guys been out at night?
We've been out at night.
So you've been armed out at night?
Yep.
Yeah? Have you guys shot anybody?
No.
Shot at anybody? Paintball guns, rubber bullets, anything? Nobody in this?
No one in the National Guard
been
is
very
staying with
limited
paintball guns and stuff like that. That's
Oh, but there's video of National Guard shooting people in St. Paul. So, like, I was just asking if any of you guys have, because I have some questions.
I don't know what's going on in St. Paul. We're completely separate from what's going on there.
But are we, though? But are we, though? But are we, though? Right? Like, you guys are a unit, right? Like, you guys are a part of the same thing, right? Multiple units, but same arm of...
You have the same name,
Yeah.
right? You guys are all part of the National Guard.
As well as brought in like 1,000 National Guard troops. It'd be like, 10 different Target stores come together. The entire staff at Target or Walmart or something. It's like, we're all the same, but really don't know what that store is doing during the retreat.
I got a question, Brad. What if it was you? What would you want to happen if the police killed you in that same way?
Or someone you loved, your dad, your brother.
I want to know from the black man who actually is facing the threat when he doesn't have this.
Come
armor
forward,
on.
black man. Come talk to us, please. Come
talk
talk to the black people.
I just want to know, when you don't have this armor on you, off in your regular clothes, your T-shirt or whatever George was wearing that day, right? And you're at the corner store. I'm sure you go to the corner store, right? By your house, right? You're at the corner store, right? And
y'all are welcome to come join the conversation. Feel free. Feel free.
And like, let's say you start to have
I don't know why any of you would think calling my phone right now would be smart. Get your ass out here, girl.
What would you want to happen? Like, what would you see? Like, what would you see next to for your family?
Yes, Emily, please roll through. Come through. Everybody, come through. 35th and Irving. Come holler. And we're gonna be peaceful. We're just having conversation.
It would. That's kind of the point of the protesting, that like black people kind of have to live with that threat every time we walk outside or sit outside like this right now.
Tell Devonna to come through. She's trying to call me.
We're dealing with that threat. So, I mean, like, I know you wouldn't want people to go light fires and riot, but like, what would you want? What would you want to happen? Like, if the police killed you and you're a part of the National Guard, but you don't have your armor on or anything like that. So like, if the police ended up killing you simply because of racial profiling, which is what's happening, what would you want to happen? How would you want the community to respond? How would you want them to be?
You're welcome to pull up some grass, some stoop, whatever.
Sorry, I can't hear.
Yep.
It's okay for people to express civil liberties and stuff. Yeah, the peaceful protest is absolutely fine.
Can you speak up, please?
Protest? Would you want that? I want to know what you would want personally, not like what's politically.
So a knee's on your neck, you're slowly dying for 8 minutes.
I'm not that important, but absolutely, peaceful protest is fine.
Do you see George as a person who was important?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why was he important? Because he was a black man who didn't think he was very important, right? Like you just said.
Anybody is important, actually.
Exactly, including yourself. So with your important life being gone now, like let's say the police theoretically killed you in true police fashion, what would you want to happen? You have kids?
Hey sis, go and pull over. Come and have a seat, girl.
Do you have a wife or a husband?
No wife.
No? Girlfriend?
No.
No? You have any partners, dorm mates?
No.
Anybody you love?
You have any friends?
You have nobody you love?
None of you guys are his friend. None of you guys would mourn his death.
Yes.
Okay, so you guys are so you're family. So how would you guys feel? What would you guys do if you learned that your brother just died by the hands of the police?
By the knee. By the knee
of the police.
Slowly.
in the corner store doing something that you guys do all the time regularly, looking how you guys look all the time regularly. He's your brother. You said what?
Yeah, he's distraught about it.
Yeah.
Now I want you to imagine being distraught for over 400 years. Quite something.
What would your distraughtness look like in that moment? These are questions I'm asking because I genuinely don't have connections with people that are a part of systems that have to like be in this delicate balance. I understand you guys are on a tightrope. I get it. I understand that.
We see your humanity, believe me, but we also see the system that you are in and that you're choosing to operate in. Sorry, go ahead.
But no, it's fine.
No one's supporting what happened. Frankly, I don't know how the other three of them arrested. I know they're working on charges, but...
Yeah, but I'm also interested in your humanity. I'm interested in what you would do. Like, if this was like something that really affected you in your life, if your brother died by the hands of the police, would you want to organize a protest? Would you want to go and give food to people?
We support the peaceful protesting. We support it 100%.
But what would you do if your brother died by the hands of the police? I want to know what you would do. Like, how would you handle your sadness?
I feel like they've already answered it, and because they have not experienced the legacy of trauma that we have, they're never going to comprehend it.
Right.
Where's your family from, sir? Yeah.
Originally, I'm from Africa.
Yeah, I kind of figured that. So you don't have the same legacy of trauma that we have being here.
Actually, yes,
No, I'm going to stop you right there with all due respect. Let me finish my thought, okay? We are the descendants of slaves. We have been here for generations. We have continually tried to work with and become fully a part of America. And at every, let me finish, bro. Let me finish because I want to give you a little history lessons real quick because you're not the first African brother that I've had to talk to about how things are different here. Now, I'm not saying
what y'all came out here for today,
right.
So I know you have time.
I know you don't. I know you have your own trauma from wherever you're from because we know that white colonialism and white supremacy does not exclusively exist in the U.S. However, the trauma that black people in this country have gone through is exclusive to us. And but what I'm saying by that is we have been oppressed from day one. Every time we have tried to peacefully assimilate, fold in, be a part of this culture, we are shut down. Should we start listing it off? Rondo, beautiful black community in St. Paul. They ran a freeway through it.
This area, North Side.
North Side.
St. Paul.
Tulsa, Oklahoma.
U of M campus.
The Move movement.
Move organization.
Right?
And all of those are peaceful.
All those are peaceful things that we have tried to do for ourselves so that we can be self-sustaining, self-sufficient, pick ourselves up by our bootstraps, human beings, and the U.S. government has attacked us.
So, question. Are you aware that the first fires that were started, the people who were traced back went back to the police station? Are you aware of that?
For the accusations, yeah.
Yeah, you're aware of okay, we'll call them accusations for all political...
Right, for all those legal reasons that we must.
Legal reasons, we'll call them accusations.
Peace.
What is being, what steps are being taken to confirm or deny these things, right? Because it's being put on
communities gathering.
But if it actually ends up coming out that the people who started the riots were undercover police officers, as it's looking right now with all of the videos that are coming out, all the people that went to go, all the actual community members who saw something wrong with what was happening and followed the people who were the actual people doing it. How is the National Guard going to be a part of that? Or are you guys going to be a part of that?
No,
are you guys going to?
No,
That's not your.
That's something we're going to have anything to do with.
Oh, okay.
We were
Okay.
brought in because of the fires and the looters and all that. That's what.
But
So
if the looters and the fires end up being started by the police,
Are you going to go deal with them?
To a national FBI level investigation.
but that's why the FBI is investigating, right? Is it? I know the FBI is investigating something.
I just know when I hear the words national and guard, I assume that your job is to protect the nation. And I assume that if I'm a citizen, I'm a part of said nation. So your job is to protect me, right?
From
So
the police, right? Because who protects us from the police?
nobody protects us from the police, which is why we're all here right now.
How are we supposed to respond to that? If we need protection from the very people that we're supposed to call to protect us, what do we do?
Reference the Constitution. That's what's going to
Joe Luna.
So what should
Joe
I reference
Luna.
in the Constitution?
Your rights.
Which part? What part of my
You're
rights?
doing it, your free speech.
My
freedom to
free speech?
assemble.
Is my free speech going to protect my body?
Right.
Is my right to assemble going to protect my body? I need protection.
Yeah,
If I
Second
need to
Amendment.
be protected from the people who are supposed to be protecting me, What is the next step up? So say you have a problem with the store. You want to talk to the manager. If you got a problem with that manager, you want to talk to the owner, right? Like, what is that chain of command? Because it seems to just be police. Congress.
Pull up some grass, sis.
So when somebody's
Enjoy
breaking
your
into
meal.
my house and then the police start choking me out because someone else broke into my house, while I'm being choked out, I call Congress? Or I'd have the community call Congress while I'm being choked out by the police?
If you don't know, you can just say you don't know. That's fine.
The police might be using brutal force all the time.
But that's why we're here right now, because they use brutal force all the time. There are countless names. Jamar Clark, Philando Castile, Marcus Golden. This is a drop in the bucket, and that's here. That's all just here.
Do you know how many hashtags we have here? Do you know how many hashtags the Twin City has? How many?
A lot.
I'm asking you. Do you know? You don't know.
But these are
Dude,
all
I'm gonna let you do
lies.
your research because I don't work for white people.
Souls, you guys. These are
No
all-
disrespect.
should be people
You got to do your own research. You got to do the work. So you got. Nope. It's very. I thank you for that. But it's very important that white people unpack their privilege and deal with white supremacy.
It's more than 10. So more than 10 people have died. More than 10 protests that I personally have been to when people have died. More than 10 emergency responses that I've had to organize, collect for, donate to, everything else.
Trauma
In
that
my
we've had to come
lifetime.
out of.
I'm 28 years old. I do not know if I'm going to make it to 30 because I have lived a life where friends of mine are shot in the street when they are unarmed. Friends of mine are choked out by police because they're having an asthma attack. Friends of mine who literally had to fight white supremacists and then the police came to fight them. Literally. CeCe McDonald. If y'all don't know the story of CeCe McDonald, please look it up. Because the only thing she did was stop somebody from hurting her and killing her. And she got brutalized and then was thrown into prison. And on top of that, harassed, death threats, everything. How many of these stories do we have to have until we can have this honest conversation with y'all for real? Before it's not just y'all staring at us and going, well, be peaceful, we're only here for fires. But until y'all get human with us as well. It's important. Because if they're coming for us, and if there's no more of us, it's going to be your family.
Hello.
It's going to be your family. And it already is your family, right? And when they're done with them too, it's going to be your family. And when they're done with them, they're coming for the rest of you because that's what happens. So if we get this early and we start having this human conversation, not just the smiles and all the photography
And the
all
trail
that,
mix and the
media,
photos.
but real conversations, real healing. Y'all go to therapy, right? You have to go to therapy.
Raise your hand if you go to therapy. That counts. Raise your hand.
Okay, counseling.
You see this?
Okay.
I know, right?
So maybe that's a good first
So maybe
step.
that's a first good step. Like, y'all need to start unpacking some stuff for real, whether you know it or not. This is happening because of all of us. It's happening because we are refusing to lay down and allow ourselves to be killed and harmed. It's happening because you are sitting down and allowing white supremacy to be like the mode of operation out here. And I'm saying this as somebody who has a white mother and white family that I don't talk to because they don't understand and they refuse to learn or understand how white supremacy operates here, or they just don't care. So it's one or the other. Like, either you're not acknowledging that it exists or you like it. Like, it benefits you, so you're not going to deal with it.
A lot of us work around the Twin Cities. Myself, I work downtown Minneapolis every day, 5 days a week. I come right in here. I work here.
Come right in here. Where you coming from, bro?
I live on the outside.
On the outside.
Not on the outside.
But you see your language, right? That's part of white supremacy. Like, the language you choose, the words that come out of your mouth, like, that's part of it. It's part of understanding, like, our mentalities that we all have. Anybody who knows me, anybody who watching this feed right now, they will tell you, this is not who I would have been with you 5 years ago. 5 years ago, this would have been very confrontational because I was steeped in my own trauma of being a person of color in this country. And I had to do my work to unpack that. But me unpacking that doesn't change that I still live in a white supremacist society. Like, I still live here. Anybody else want to have a question, comment, concern? Yes.
Community stuff. To the white folks here, do you know how white supremacy affects you? How it harms you?
I don't know. I'll be honest. I can't tell you how it affects me.
That's honest.
Or how it affects your mothers or your grandmothers? As a white woman, I can tell you that white supremacy has taught me humanity in favor of upholding a system that's not serving me. What is it providing me with? The shutdown, the quarantine, and this pandemic has revealed that, and it's revealed that to a lot of people. I don't need for my child to go to the school that they go to. There's other ways that they can learn. I don't need to go into an office and punch a clock. I don't need to have my house and my car and all of those things to survive. We need food, we need water, we need basic necessities. But this land right here that you're marching on, this is stolen land.
Say it.
This is Dakota land. It was stolen. And the people who lived here and who lived in harmony with this land for centuries were removed from it. And that will never sit right. It will never be okay in your spirit until you start acknowledging that. Until you start acknowledging that there's the spirits of people, human beings, were on this land before we were ever here.
Whole civilizations, whole cultures, whole communities.
I got a question. So how do you guys suggest we move on? How do we resolve that?
Well, I think
You're asking me to do
counseling
your work,
and
but yeah.
therapy for y'all would be a really, really no. And I'm not being funny. I'm being really serious because that's what therapists and counselors literally go to school and pay thousands of dollars to study. They go to school and they pay thousands of dollars to study how to have these conversations, how to break through, not just have conversations, but have things you can do, actions, next steps, right? How to be able to break through certain walls, certain boundaries. That's literally what a therapist's job is, right? And that's what I had to learn as well. Black people, especially black women, are not taught to go to therapy. They're not. They're not told, hey, everything you're going through is trauma. Right? We're told that this is natural. Imagine growing up where everybody, like,
we're just
all
built
your friends
angry,
are just dying everywhere, and you just think it's okay and it's normal, right? But it's actually not. And then someone has to tap you on the shoulder and say, hey, I think you're acting out in this way. I think these things are like coming out in other ways, in other repressive ways. You're having facial tics and all types of other stuff because you haven't dealt with your internal trauma. And you are out here trying to keep peace in your community and everything else, and you are taking on all types of abuse because before you guys came here, it was black women who had to organize everybody, who had to keep the peace for everybody, who had to run around to every city acting like they was the National Guard with no backup, right?
with no
Get
weapons.
in between violent people, people who had guns, people who had bats, right? It was black women doing that particular work, right? And we saw no head or tail of National Guard while all of these people came up to Minnesota to attack us. Because this is not the first time that the KKK. Also, we have the most registered KKK members in the nation living in Minnesota, so they don't really have to drive very far. All of that time, I haven't seen any of y'all, for any reason, not in your uniforms, but just to come show support in your personal lives and selves, right? To come be there and show up and purify your soul. Because what sis said is so true. You are literally all, like, I don't know if y'all are Christian or not, or however you get down with Jesus or whatever.
Buddha, Allah, whatever.
There's no way you reach paradise watching all of this bloodshed, being a part of all of this shit, and ignoring the humanity in it. And the only way you can start to see the humanity or see why you don't see the humanity in it is to go get somebody who's going to work with you personally on you. Just like I have somebody who works with me personally on me, on why I do what I do, on why sometimes I snap out and I don't even mean to look mean or sound mean or whatever, but the way I act and interact, I'm constantly in a war situation in my mind, and so I'm treating myself and I'm treating other people, I'm giving commands and I'm doing all this shit to other people like we're constantly in a war situation because I'm so used to protests, peaceful protests, having armed people come to them and meet them ready to fight. And I've had to be in that mentality for so long. Sometimes when I'm talking to my mom and shit, it's fucked up. It's fucked up. You don't talk to your mom like you're her elder, right? And then eventually you just slapped the dog shit out of me one time because I went too far. I went too far.
But that's what trauma does.
That's not my nature. I'm not a person who talks back to their mom. I'm not. Something's going on with me. right? I don't know what's going on in y'all's personal lives, but I'm sure there's something somewhere in there where you're like, this isn't me. This really isn't me. Like, what's up? Why am I able to block out all this pain? Why am I able to have these really nonchalant, like average conversations about really, really deep intersectional things that have layers, things that are deeper than just a hi and a goodbye or a pass out water and a see you later, things that are more important than making that camo that you're wearing look good. There are things that are more important than that. And every last life that you have to defend and protect is what's more important than that. And that's what we're defending and that's what we're protecting. And to not have, and to feel like we're now being policed in our own cribs. Do you know how traumatizing it was to see y'all turn that corner? I didn't know what the fuck was happening.
Right.
I didn't know. We literally were like, oh shit, what's going on?
Why are they on the block?
Why are they on the block?
What are they not telling us?
Your camo is triggering to this whole community of people, because when we see anything that looks like military, we know it's going to be against us. It's never going to be for us. Ever.
Never has been.
Never
has been.
There's never been a time that the military was called in. And if I'm wrong, please help me out, because I love learning.
I understand completely.
You guys are trained to say I understand, huh?
It feels weird as hell going down Minneapolis in our trucks with weapons.
Yeah.
I grew up in Hopkins, so I'm not far from here. And it's weird. You know, 10 minutes away and I'm basically in my backyard with a loaded gun. I don't
Going
like
past my work.
Yeah.
It's not a comfort zone for us. This is not comfortable for us as much as it's not comfortable for you.
But what do you think you could be doing instead of this, right? Instead of just waiting to be deployed to act on behalf of the state, what could you be doing? What are you doing?
You're not doing this. You guys are volunteering right now. Like, you have jobs.
We have plenty of people in the military that are within their own communities where they live.
I'm asking you. What's your name, bro?
My name?
Yeah.
I'm Chad.
Chad, Miss Nicole. Nice to meet you, Chad. What are you doing, Chad? COVID, man. Elbows, bro.
It's just to correct, because I know she won't miss Nicole.
MYSNIKOL.
That is the name.
That is the name.
Yes.
Miss Nicole.
On the mail.
So, Chad, what are you doing? And if you're not doing anything, just acknowledge that, because that's what we're here for. Like, let's talk about what we can do.
Absolutely. For myself, as far as a veteran and stuff?
No, as far as a human being.
And I'm talking about taking the uniform out.
Yep.
What I would do for my commitment and stuff.
Yeah.
I do help my veterans. I'm part of...
Should we move into the shade? Are y'all okay?
Y'all hot?
We're good.
You're good? Chad is not all right, y'all. Chad is not all right.
I'm in the shade.
Get you some shade, bro. Like, sit wherever y'all like. We can have this conversation, like, across.
Okay, so I'm going to take one quick pause here, because we got like over 500 people right now. This is the most people I've ever had on my live. And I don't do it for the likes. I did it because the opportunity was here, and these are important conversations that we need to have. So for those of you that are here, we are in North Minneapolis on 35th and Irving. Me and my sis here and her friend were just sitting out here having a pleasant day, and then we saw these National Guard members coming down the block, and we decided to engage them in conversation. So the community is out here having conversation. So that I just wanted to explain, because some of you asked what was going on. That's what's going on. All right, Chad, what are you doing?
Miss Nicole?
Yes.
So I'm from Monticello area, so not too far from here. I work in the city daily. As far as myself, reaching out to my community, I work with the local VFW, and we support the troops that have had issues, that need help, that are getting help, and that's what our organization is for, is supporting our local community, whether it be local food shelf for individuals that need help, whatever it might be. We're the National Guard, we're funded by the state. We're here to support the state communities, the communities here. That is why we're here. We are here to walk around and be peaceful and get the peace back to the city, to give back to the city, not to ever take, but to give back. We're trying to get orders so you guys can live your lives, get out in the neighborhoods, and feel safe to sit out on your front lawn. And when someone walks by in a uniform because they might be getting done with drill for the weekend because they're your neighbor across the street, that you don't get nervous. We're not here to make you nervous. We're here to make you feel comfortable, feel peaceful.
So can I be honest with you? That sounds like a level of propaganda, right? It sounds like My job is, after all the trauma you've been through for the last 7 days, my job is to come and to diffuse your feelings, to ease the feelings of other people. Because really, this doesn't, I don't know. Can y'all raise your hands when you see them come down the street? Does this ease your mind? Do you feel more comfortable? No? Okay. So for those of us in the trenches of all of this, it doesn't change anything. Like, we see your humanity and we see you as an individual person, but at the end of the day, you're out here now representing systems that harm us. And so that's where our concern is. I want to move over to the sister elder here, Cassandra. She had a... If y'all don't mind, can we keep this a group conversation so people at home are involved in all of this? Because they're loving this and they're loving hearing what everybody has to say.
So my question is, I live in the neighborhood and blah, blah, blah. But my question is, how you view...
Can you clear the steps, please, for my nieces? And if somebody wants to help her, that'd be even better. I'm just putting that out there. Sorry, sis.
That's okay.
So go ahead.
How you are trained to view people, if it's you and us, instead of, you know, is it they and them? You know, do you have a code is like the good old boys code, you know, like the police, the code of blue, how they're always right. I mean, the police now, I look at the police as almost a little gang, you know, and so it's like, right, it's a gang, and so it's like, are you protecting the gang regardless of their indiscrepancies and the things that they do, you know? And so that is wondering, you know, because how you're taught and what you are told to think and how you are told to look at people that don't necessarily look like you and that don't do what you do, because there's always a stigma of, oh, if they're not doing X, Y, and Z, because I know the armed forces kind of have a code. And it's like either we're with you or we're against you, or you don't look like us or you don't do what us. And so when you come into our neighborhood, we don't see them as heroes or anything like that. We see them as a threat, because we say they look at us like this instead of looking at us like that. Did that make sense? Or did you guys lose me?
Nah, y'all ain't giving it all to Chad. This is a group effort with individuals.
Right. And so it's like, because I'm like, did somebody say, well, you know, those people over there, they look like this, they're low income, they're this and that, you know, and it's like, because that's
low income, man.
But because that's the way we're treated. Not only do we feel, but that's the way that we're treated, you know. And you go out to Savage, Minnesota, or anything like that, and you feel, oh, or Richfield, because I spoke with people, I said, stay safe. Oh, we are safe out here. They live in Richfield, because I think that you will come with a different line of respect and being seen and accepted more. They may not, oh, we have the guards out here protecting us, or we have the guards out here protecting us. So my question is, in case you lost it, is what is the code that, you know, or are you being taught, be on alert, you know?
Is everyone a threat?
Is everyone a threat? And why aren't you guys marching
Who's the threat?
with us? Why do you guys come as an enforcer?
And why didn't you come to protect us? Because it wasn't the protesters that were causing the mayhem.
It was the others. And if the police jumped in and started walking with us and said, hey, it was wrong, but the problem that they will not say, you guys made an error, they would not count it as an error, and then we became the threat to them. And so that's what it's like. Is it, regardless of what you do, it's like those people are always wrong. So did you guys catch the question?
We're not here for we didn't get called because of the peaceful protesting.
Okay.
We got called because of the issues like you were stating, of the looting, the things that were happening at night. We don't do anything during the day normally. We are just kind of waiting for the night to be able to install the peace, to make sure that the looting is stopping, that we are pushing the ones that came out of state back out, because they can't rally and get a big group together and loot. We're not here to disturb the peaceful protesting. We support it.
I actually have friends who protest.
Hold that 1 second.
Right. So I guess my question was, how are you guys taught, or you guys taught to look at us differently in different sectors of the country? Because it feels that way. Like I said, the police is like a gang now. You know, we don't call, right? You know, I'm just trying to be correct.
I know.
You know, And so that's how we feel. It's like, well, we got to save ourselves on this. And you guys can only get called on their behalf. On their behalf, because we can't call you.
We can't call you. We cannot call you.
And they're coming, and so you're siding with them. And it's like, well, wait a minute.
Yeah.
This started because of their action.
Yep.
So, but you know, and we're still waiting for those other 3 to be arrested.
Which would have shut all this down, from jump.
From jump. But because of that, and they wanted to make it like, so, you know, I look at you, and I just can speak for me. I was like, they're coming in as the enforcer, and they're going to drop the hammer on us because they're protecting the gang, the police.
So that was a lot.
I'm sorry.
So, don't be sorry.
Okay.
Both the audience and the guys, I think, are a little unsure what to answer fully. So, what's your name, sir?
I'm Sam.
Sam? Nice to meet you, Sam.
So I'm not from the Twin Cities area, but I'm from farther up north. But that sense of community, I still feel that. I would hate to see businesses in my community destroyed, people fearing for their safety. So that's why when I come down here, that translates. I want to make sure people are safe, you know, protect property. I just want that same sense of community. I want that care to transfer down to here as well.
You know, and we just don't feel that because we don't see you until police come, and then
we don't see you until white people feel threatened.
There you go, and then you drop the hammer, and you know, that's how I feel. I can't speak for anybody else.
I think you might be though.
Thank you.
I think that actually what you came for, or what your understanding of why you were brought here is really significant, and that's something that we should really, everybody in the society needs to really think about, because you're talking about freedom. And I've been extremely aware of the things that were happening, and 90% of the looting was major companies that are nationwide or that are big, huge companies. But what we're not talking about, and what I want protection from, and what I think my neighbors want protection from, is white supremacists. The 3%ers who have come and attacked us before. They have come and attacked us before. They have attacked people all over this country. They are targeting small businesses, not to loot them, not because they're trying to, you know.
They don't care about the stuff inside.
They are targeting them, burning down businesses.
It's an economic war.
They targeted some of the hubs where people were dropping off donations and where volunteers were recording. That's what this city needs protection.
We're having a war right now. You guys are protecting, I'm not sure exactly what you're protecting, but we are actually having a war that we have to protect our own people. And I want to know, are you all aware of the white supremacists that are here, that are terrorizing our communities? Do you all know who 3%ers are? No, it's a very simple question. Are you aware of them being here and doing that?
Personally, I'm not aware of a particular group, but generally I have an idea.
Do you have an idea of white supremacists being here?
Yeah,
you're the National Guard?
Yes, personally, I'm not familiar with the details as to specific groups,
too.
But I do have an idea.
You need to. That's exactly what's going on. That's why we're protecting each other. That's why we're armed. That's why we're needing to drive around and protect ourselves at night. I'm not coming at you, brother, but like that I really wanted to ask that question, because that's what we're dealing with right now. And for some of you to kind of lightly nod your head and say, I don't know of the details about white supremacist terrorists that are terrorizing us.
As a black-bodied male in the United States of America,
highly concerning.
Highly concerning. Because
this is not coming out of love, brother.
Right, it's not judgment, it's not shame.
I'll be honest, I haven't encountered personally in a particular group,
and that's for all of you
in a militant racist group, but I am aware of the existence.
We have.
Right.
I don't know anyone who's from the area if you know about what happened at the 4th Precinct in 2016 when protesters were gathered there.
It is because they don't
and
They don't do testing.
white supremacists.
Well, it's not even about the
Eat your food,
It's
girl.
not even about the money. They just don't do the testing. They haven't put the testing in there, made it available
And they
to
tried to
people
kill as many
black
people
and
as they
brown.
could. They shot 5 people.
You know, and so it's just another.
Planned it, and they came and they shot 5 people. And that group has done that all over the country. And they are not on any terrorist list. They are not on any. In fact, one of them worked as a mortgage officer.
So I just want to interject real quick. Once again, we have an issue with sound. People at home are unable to hear when there's multiple conversations. If you want to have a side conversation, have it quietly, pull it over a little bit. That'll be helpful. Thank you. Carry on.
Carry on. This neighborhood particularly is, and the people who are here particularly have been targeted by the same group before, and we know that they want to kill us. We know. They've been planning this. They are here to kill us. The protesters, the
So
leaders,
glad my phone was charged.
they're here to stand up for a cause. They're not trying to hurt anybody. They're robbing Target, who has already said that they don't care, that Target Corporation does not mind, the loss will be covered, it's not a problem. Those guys are here to kill us.
We were told that was one of the number one threats as well. That infantry.
But you guys didn't come here until last night because the night before was scary as hell. And nobody was here to protect us. Nobody was here to protect us 2 nights ago.
Yeah, the mission. They don't do
Yeah.
A lot of us don't know, and that's what we're
Like
trying
what
to
type
find
of
out.
tattoos to ask, to look for, what type of bumper stickers, what type of insignia. Like there's the 3%ers, they are out there.
So y'all listen to this. They're not even trained to identify these white supremacists, but they're supposed to be out here protecting us. But they're not trained. So this is part of the problem, is that the people that are supposed to protect the citizens of the U.S. are not fully equipped to do that. They don't have the information, the intel, the training.
Because of looters or whatever, we have to protect it because of white supremacists who want to kill us.
I've been working off maybe at most 4 hours of sleep this week. Well, last week, going into this week, I don't even know what day.
It's been a whole
It's
week
been
since
too
he was
long.
murdered.
And my kids should never be accustomed to thinking it's okay to hearing gunshots all night, or wondering why you guys show, because we were coming past Falwell and they're like, why are they here? I'm like, I'm concerned because we've been protecting this
this whole time.
like the whole time. So everybody tired, we're exhausted, we haven't been taking care of ourselves and still have to protect our shit. And it's like, and someone had asked earlier what you could do to make a difference. Learn your history. It ain't my job to teach you that. They took it out of school on purpose, so you don't know your history, so you can continue to live the way that they intend you, that they want you to live, as in being above everyone else. And you guys may not come from families that you see direct racism or whatever, but it is in our system. They keep it out of the system on purpose. My own people barely know their history. They keep it out of the system on purpose. So if you want to help us and help humanity, learn your history and then come work with us. But this y'all battle. This ain't really ours. We've been victims since we've been here. But it's your history to learn and to teach to your own families. And that's how the cycle changed. That's how the system changed. We tired. We real life tired. I worry every night if my husband gonna come home. Okay?
Before Memorial Day.
Before, I have an 8-year-old boy that I'm not even sure can live till he's 16. He's 8. He should be able to run outside and play and not have these issues. I shouldn't have to worry about how I should teach my child
How not to get
respond
murdered.
Yeah, he 8.
By the police.
By the police.
Yeah, just
He
so we're
wants to
clear.
be an officer when he gets older. And he don't even see like the pain that I deal with on a daily basis, that I keep in myself. That's why I have to have therapy. It's exhausting as hell. Y'all got nieces and nephews and cousins and children that can run around and just
Live
really
free.
live free.
They're doing it now. They don't even know that the riots happen.
No.
Totally oblivious.
And when we don't talk about it, white folks don't sit and have these conversations about how it affects us. How, like, because in our minds as adults, we know that shit's happening, you know, whether we're in the middle of it or whatever, we know somewhere there's riots and, oh, there's the plight of this person, whatever. But when you detach from your spirit enough to not be affected by that, you're harming yourself. You, like, we have to heal from the ways that it harms us too. We have to do that. We have to heal with our kids and our, like, I have to heal with my children and parents.
You guys probably are pretty close to the line here.
And that it's like it's even going. I mean, going to a therapist, yes, but just having like really open conversations with ourselves.
Real conversation.
Yeah.
It helps when you understand people. I can speak I was at a job where I had a supervisor, a white man, and he is a Trump supporter, all this kind of stuff. And we would sit down and we would have these conversations, but we would listen to each other, right? So even though we might have had different political views and things like that, we would really listen to each other. And one day he asked me, after we had built a rapport, he said to me, let me ask you this. And if you don't want to answer it, that's fine, but I feel like I can ask you this. I struggle to keep black women here working. Like, they come here and I feel like we don't get along, they don't like me, and they leave. And I said, well, I'm going to tell you something that you might not know. Every interaction I've ever had with a white man as a young woman has been treated like you. See, you see what I'm saying? When he sees that suit, that's the feeling that people go through. That's the trauma that people go through every time they see these uniforms. And we're not blaming you as individual humans. We're saying you got to start looking at the systems that you're a part of. So as I was saying, I had to explain to him that as a young girl, the only interactions, because my father is a black man, the only interactions I had with white men were them trying to solicit me for sex when I would be walking to the corner store. If you think that doesn't build up a feeling in a young person, if you don't think that doesn't create a sense of fear or disgust or even hate in a young person towards people that fit that description, right? And I did nothing. I did nothing. I was a young girl who developed early and had the nerve to walk to the corner store. If you think that how we are treated in this society, how we are looked at, how we are followed in stores, how we are talked down to, how we are ignored by the medical community, all these things, if you don't think that that doesn't create a level of trauma for people, and it's not something that you don't have to think about as you're out interacting with people, then that's the problem.
Exactly. And I'm sorry, I just want to jump in, because that disgusting, derogative thinking that white people have about people of color tells me, it's like, well, they're used to it. We've always treated you bad. So why don't you get used to it and stay in your place? So that's what all this is about. Was like, no, that is not how it's supposed to be. And when we see the white woman or the white man being treated better, but the Constitution says
we're all equal.
We're all equal. Then it's like, oh no, we didn't mean for you, you know. So that's a lot of the problem. I just wanted to chime in because every black woman in their eyes is a prostitute or a hoe.
Is a piece of property.
Is a piece of property.
Yeah.
Every black man is no good. You know, every person of color, you know.
But there's some good ones, though. But I'm saying that's the mentality where it's like you're all bad except for those few good ones.
Except for those few ones, you know. And so, and that's what we hear against, you know. And I'm not mad at you individually. This is just something that how we feel, you know. So I just wanted to piggyback off of that.
It's all good. So we have talked to you, maybe a little at you a lot. But that's because you appear to not have very much information at this point. I'm curious what the thoughts and feelings and, more importantly, next steps are that you might be considering after hearing all of these things. I know Chad's going to jump in because Chad liked to talk.
Yep. We do got to get going shortly, just because we got to.
Well, then you better make it quick, and you better get right to the point.
As has been pointed out, a lot of us got to learn the history. That's the first step.
And accept it, not just learn it, but accept it.
Yeah.
And know that your history doesn't make you.
Yeah, you got to know it.
Never got to get involved in our communities. That's the next step.
And I want to be clear because I don't know if it was made clear. When we talk about your history, we are talking about your history of white supremacy, colonization, all of that. Like, you need to really understand, like, all of that, okay? And not from the white textbooks and the white perspective. You need to find black and brown bodied scholars and read their books, and indigenous people, thank you, right? You need to read their books. You need to go to their lectures. You need to pay them to come speak to your community and start having these conversations, because they are critical. It is your job as white-bodied humans to dismantle and kill white supremacy. Anything you want to say to the people before we get rid of the live?
I think we all can agree that this was very much enlightening, and thank you all for
Yes. Well, thanks for staying and listening.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
You don't feel like a threat
I'm
now.
gonna hold you to that.
All right, thank you.
Push it up. We need more information.
So, for those of you just tuning in, I'm going to cut this off so you can go back and watch it from the beginning if you want. I was sitting out front spending time with my little revolutionary daughter and her friend, and we noticed some National Guard coming down the block, and then we just kind of organically ended up having this community listening session where people got to talk human to human, sharing perspectives, asking questions, offering information. Sorry, they're praying. So feel free to exchange information so you guys can get resources, especially from this white-bodied female here named Mpls. She's great for resources.
I would love to talk more.
Hey guys, so again, we just had this impromptu community listen session, and I don't know, I'm hoping that it is inspiring people to understand and see the humanity in all of us. Most of us are just trying to live a good life, and we really have to start understanding how these systems are messing with us, y'all. So, yeah, feel free to keep commenting. I'm not going to read the comments. There's over 1,000 of y'all on here. I love you. So, yeah, let's just keep having conversations, and let's keep dissecting this, and let's keep doing our own work, our community work, our family work, all of that. Thank y'all. Peace.